Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique together. This is our home. We have a duty to build and not break. If you're breaking, it must be because you want to expand, because you want to innovate, because you want to do things better. I want to encourage those on Facebook and on YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to say good morning to the folks on the radio, Vibes 101.3 FM and Vibes 106.3 FM. You know, this morning I decided to go back on the Parliamentary Elections Office website to look at the amount of registered voters for, well, as of June the 30th, 2024. Because last night I said on the Ride Along program, it was 80,000, just a little above 80,000. But I remembered saying also that in 2022, we had 86,658 people registered to vote, to participate in the election. But we saw 60,630 people voting. All right. So I decided to go back and, make a little check. And then I realized that the Parliamentary Elections Office made a mistake with the calculation, what they had on that site. And let me make a correction. The amount of people who voted in 2022 was 60,853. So that's a correction. All right. So again, I went back and I checked and I realized that they made a mistake on their site. It's supposed to be 90,094 people as of June the 30th. Of course, between June and now December, there will be people who registered between that period, and the number will be greater. I want to believe it will be closer to some 90,200, right? So it'll be closer to that mark for about now. We are in December. So quite a number of people have registered from the last election to now. And that's a significant amount. It's a significant amount. All right? You're talking about a good what? 4,000 people getting registered over the last 2 years. That's a lot of people. And we know we saw a spike after independence, and that continues. More people are registering because they want to participate in our election. And once you're a Grenadian, you could be living in Timbuktu. Once you're a Grenadian and you have a birth certificate, a Grenadian birth certificate, or a Grenadian passport, you have that right to register and to participate in the election. No one can stop you. And I mean, no one can stop you from participating in the election. So I want to encourage you to do what you must to make sure that you register. And if you have a child who attained the age of 18, some young person in your house, please get them registered because it is a numbers game. You could say what you want. It is a numbers game. So remember that. Registration is key. Registration is key. And if you are in the diaspora, you come back home for a funeral, you come back home for a wedding, you come back home for vacation, you come back home for some, let's say, carnival or Christmas, take the opportunity to go to the electoral office in that constituency that you're from and register. Register because you see, once you are registered, then you can decide to come in and vote. Then you can decide to vote come election day. But if you're not registered, then you either be fighting to get registered when the election is called, or you have no, urgency to come back or to vote. So I want to encourage you to register. Registration is key. And the numbers. You want to say morning? Come and say morning. Come and say morning. You're a regular. All right. So Zoe wants to say morning. You're a regular on the program. All right. Say good morning.
Morning.
All right. Can say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. All right. Bye. Love you. Bye. Have a nice day at DK. All right. Nice. Close the door. Good. So Zoe wants to say good morning. She's a regular on the program every morning. So I am saying it is a numbers game. So don't matter what people say, don't matter what people do, if you are not registered, you cannot vote. You cannot participate in the election. So that is important, very important. And don't make nobody fool you. Don't make nobody make you afraid or concerned. As long as you are a Grenadian, born and bred Grenadian, or you become a citizen of Grenada, you have a Grenadian passport, or you have a Grenadian birth certificate, you can go into the electoral office in the constituency that you are from and get registered. All right? Registered to vote. That is important. And if you coming from overseas, all you need to do is to get a bill, phone bill, Grenlec bill, internet bill, something like that. Digicel, whatever bill you have in the house showing your address, you can take that with you and get registered. All right? And nowadays, it's soft copy. The bills are online. You get it on your phone, on your tablet, and so on. So you can take that with you. But that is important because it is a numbers game. We have seen a lot of people registering because they are fired up and excited about the whole thing. They love to see what this government is doing. So they are registering. That is key. So I thought I should clear that up first and foremost this morning and encourage you to get registered. The next thing, folks, this talk about Peter David and his influence, and he's this and he's that. Peter David's political career is dead. Dead. The guy used to be a kingmaker in the politics. He used to be someone that people followed and listened to. Keith Mitchell was able to strip this guy of everything political. He does not command anything. He doesn't have the following that some people believe he has. So it is clear that his political career has ended. He may not know, somebody has to tell him. Somebody has to tell him. In fact, what this guy should have done on Monday gone was to resign as a member of NNP and remain in the parliament representing his constituents independently so, not representing NNP or NDC or PLM or GULP. And maybe a little inch of dignity could have been returned to him. But right now, the guy is nothing in the politics in this country. Some people believe that he is. He's not. In fact, many of his followers and supporters, they are bitter, they are sour. They angry with NNP. They bitter with NNP because they thought they found a home in the NNP. But the NNP treated Peter like a little pot-hung dog politically. He's a reject. So it is clear that this guy is done. He's done. You see, Grenadians still love somebody who is tough. Grenadians still love somebody who they can look up to as being tough, standing for something. Keith Mitchell insulted, embarrassed that guy. Keith Mitchell treated that guy with disdain, right? With scorn. Look at how he spoke about Peter and insulted this guy. Keith Mitchell took his manhood politically from him. So he cannot even stand before young people to say anything because they don't see him as an example. You're supposed to stand firm, right? And then he came back 2 days before the convention like a little girl crying in the public about the process and that he's ending his bid to become the leader of the NNP. Utter rubbish. The guy's a damn coward. So, and if you look at Peter David's numbers in the tongue of St. George, you realize that the guy does not have political clout. You would realize the guy doesn't have any big set of following and popularity. Maybe 1 or 2 guys in the ghetto might be following him. But his numbers continue to slide. Because you're talking about him winning Claudette Joseph in 2018 by 826 votes. In 2022, he win Claudette Joseph by 211 votes. Just think about it. The guy is not growing in stature and numbers politically. No, I mean, Peter Wickham, he's outside of Grenada and he's looking in. And he follows online what he sees there and so on. But I am on the ground and people who are here knows that Peter is a nobody in the politics of Grenada now, just like Emlyn Pear. You tell me 5 things that you remember Peter David did in this country. You can't remember. Tell me 5 things that you remember that Emlyn Pear did in the country. You can't remember. You just tell me. What are the 5 significant things that Peter David or Emlyn Pear did for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique? They are nobodies in the politics of the country. They just don't have what it takes. So, look, if a businessman has money and he or she wants to put that money, invest that money in a political party, to give a political party that money to assist them with their campaign and to help their chances of winning an election, they would not give that money to the NNP. They would not give that money to the NNP of Emlyn Pear. Well, quote unquote Emlyn Pear, because we know Keith Mitchell and Gregory Bowen, they're the face of the NNP now and forevermore, before, now, and forevermore. They would not give her or the NNP that money. They would invest that money in the NDC because the NDC is futuristic. The NDC is more progressive. The NDC is more attractive politically. It is clear, right? unless that businessman accustomed losing his money or not interested in profit or return or dividend on his investment. So it's clear. And what we must also state here is Grenadians do not have an appetite for NNP anymore. The NNP has been too negative for the last 2 years and a half. Every time they open their mouth is to condemn and to criticize the NDC. And many a times they are criticizing the NDC for doing good things, but they're still condemning the NDC. And Grenadians are fed up of that. You see, some people underestimate the intellect of the Grenadian people. We have improved significantly over the many years with the advances in technology and so on, and access to education, higher education and so on. So it's different. It is totally different. This morning I heard an NNP surrogate criticizing the new pension plan. But these people are not criticizing the new pension plan because they know what it's about. They heard the leaders within the NNP condemning the new pension plan. They heard the leaders within this particular union condemning the new pension plan, not even understanding what the government intends to do. They're not even aware of the content of the thing. They don't follow news in depth. They don't listen to GIS. They don't listen to our beloved Prime Minister and so on because they're angry, they're bitter. They don't want to hear him. Those NNP pundits, surrogates, zygotes, and sycophants, right? But people with sense, and I want to applaud Thomas this morning, former principal of GBSS, who called in and rebutted this idiot, the chatters on the streets, rebutted the guy and said, this is not an expense or money taken from you. It's an investment in your retirement, in your future. You will retire one day. And when you retire, you want to be able every month to collect a pension. The pension as it stands now cannot sustain you. They will never be able to sustain the 4,000 people or so if they add them to this current pension plan of 1958. They can't. As it stands now further, as it stands now, the people who this new pension plan applies to, they are not permanently employed with the government of Grenada. No, they're not permanently employed. In fact, they do not even have an instrument from the Public Service Commission. So they were not appointed by the Public Service Commission. So those who are appointed by the Public Service Commission and confirmed by the Public Service Commission, they then fall under the 1958 pension laws, and the Constitution protects them. But those who are contract for service workers, they do not have any constitutional protection. So the government can come up with any new plan, pension plan, to accommodate them. You think the government is that stupid to make them permanent and then go and introduce this new pension plan? If they make them permanent, then they fall automatically under the 1958 pension laws. This thing is common sense. You don't need to be a genius to understand that. So there's no constitutional protection for these people. As it stands now, the government could just tell all of these people go home, Yes, in lieu of 1 month notice. All of them. You pay them 1 month and everybody home. 4,000, almost 4,000 workers. And the government will suffer no consequence legally because they're in contract for service. It is what it is. Royden Bihari, he tried to take the government to court, the Ministry of Youth, right? But he lost. He was on contract. And that is what is significant. So the government is trying to come up with a pension plan, a pension for these contract workers. The NNP never even thought about coming up with a pension plan for these people. The NNP never cared about these people. They brought them on contract. The majority of these people were employed under the NNP on contract for service. The NNP never made them permanent. No, contract for service. And they were retiring with no pension back into poverty. And then they go into those ministers and beg to go on the poor relief assistance program after working for 20 and 30 years for government. So you have to understand this thing. This thing is common sense. You see, the contract workers, the contract for service workers, they are not permanent workers. They are not appointed and confirmed workers. They are not protected by the Constitution, speaking to the pension of 1958. The people who are protected by that are the people who are appointed and confirmed by the Public Service Commission. And you need to get this thing straight in your head. You have to get it in your brain. So to talk about Constitution and it could be taken to court, and these people have nothing. These contract workers do not have anything to fall back on when they retire. So the government is trying to help these people. That is what the government is trying to do, As long as they are debating in the parliament. Today they will be debating those bills today. I am saying the government is trying to help these workers. The government could have decided not to do anything like the NNP. The NNP did nothing for these people. In the history of Grenada, the very first time contract workers got an increase like the other public officers who are appointed and confirmed by the Public Service Commission was under the NDC. This time wrong, the very first time contract workers got an increase. But some people are so ungrateful and conveniently forgetful that they forget that, or they forget that. Only under the NDC that happened. Under the NNP, they never gave contract workers any increase like the other public servants who are appointed and confirmed. And that is why when NNP opening their labas, when they opening the trap, when they decide to run the dirty mouth politically, I would straighten them about contract workers and pension and this and that. I said, okay, you place them under contract for all these years. When there was an increase given to public officers, why you didn't give them to? You love them so much. And that is something that you need to confront the union donkey about. This guy is a political idiot. The guy is a donkey, a political union donkey. The guy is a damn fool. Challenge him. You've been in the union and you had other leaders of that union. You have workers who are on contract for service and those with fixed contracts too. Meaning that the contract say $2,000 is supposed to get for the month or $1,500 is supposed to get for the month. Contract says so. This administration, the NDC, gave them the same 13% increase like the workers under the Public Service Commission, appointed and confirmed public servants who are permanent within the system. But you're not talking about that. You're not out there applauding that. No, you want to talk all kind of rubbish. And look, the guy ain't bright, And a lot of these guys, they're not bright. When you hear them speak, you just have to flush your toilet or spit or say troops, troops, according to the old Morocco, according to the expired corned beef, according to Popo Black. Just say troops, troops. I am simply saying to you folks, look at this in a very simple way. The new nasty party introduced Vote 340 some years and years ago. And they brought in a lot of workers within government on contract for service. So, those workers were only collecting a salary every month. When they retired, they were going home with no pension. But they were not alone, you know. Some people playing senile, you know. The contract workers were not alone going home without a pension. Those who were confirmed and appointed by the Public Service Commission, they too, 8 years, 7 years, 6 years ago, they were going home without a pension too. Although they were entitled to a pension and a gratuity. Who the hell NNP think they're talking to, boy? The new nasty party. Those political vagabonds. They think people stupid. They really think people dotish, isn't it? So not just the contract for service workers who are going home without a pension and going home in poverty. Those who are prominent when they retired, teachers, nurses, police, doctors, public servants generally, they were retiring under the NNP and going home with not a damn cent, going home with nothing. What the hell the NNP think they're talking to? And you go hear those political nastiness on them in the parliament on the NNP side, giving you a different kind of take. What's wrong with them? Well, they don't move there. This thing is clear. So these contract workers, they were going right back into poverty. And they had to go and beg some minister or so to put them under the poor relief assistance program to get the $300 or $400 or $500. You hear me? So this NDC administration decided, no, we have to fix this mess that the NNP created in greater part. Now, right now, we got to fix it. And we're going to take the bold step to introduce a new pension plan. It's what it is. Simple as that. Right? So, the government is saying, you will contribute 3% of your salary towards your pension, an investment in your future, and the government of Grenada, taxpayers, going to contribute the next 3%. You hear me? Because the government cannot sustain just government taxpayers' money paying all the pension, the 66.66% of your highest emolument or last highest emolument, last highest pay until you die. Almost 70% of your last salary. And then you collect from NIS, in many instances, 50 and 55% of your last best 5 years or whatever they call it. Right? Or you can simply say your last high salary or salaries. And they average it and you get, when you collect the money, it's far more than what you used to work for. But government actually contributed to the NIS that you get into. So the government is giving you in two hands. One, taxpayers' money, paying all that almost 70%. The 1958 laws, taxpayers' money paying that. You getting that? Plus, government has been contributing to the NIS as an employer for you when you retire. All right? So you would pay in 5.75%. Government now pays 6.75% every month. So look, watch. This thing is simple like 1, 2, 3. You don't need to be a scholar, some genius to understand this thing, So the government cannot and will not be able to pay you when you retire almost 70% of your highest last salary from taxpayers' money. You ain't putting a cent out into that. And then NIS now every month, since you started working, they're contributing for you for when you retire to get something from NIS. So in two hands, government. The NIS, you're putting a certain amount, you're contributing a certain amount, but government putting the greater part. The government of Grenada is putting the greater part amount of money for you to, when you retire, to get the money from NIS. Don't make nobody fool you. So the government is saying that it's unsustainable. And anybody with common sense knows that. It's unsustainable. So they're introducing this new pension plan now for these contract workers. These people who are working in government with no instrument, with no pension, with nothing. When they retire, straight into damn poverty. That is what the NNP had for these people. So the government is saying, okay, you contribute 3%, we will contribute 3% of your salary, and we're going to pay it into your pension plan. When you retire, you're going to get a pension until you die. And even if you start working 15 years ago on contract, or 16 years ago, or 17 years ago on contract, and you are not paying any pension, we will pay it for you. Taxpayers' money going to pay it for you. And it will feel like you, when you just started working, there was a pension plan there for you, and you were paying it. That's what the government is bending over backwards to help these people. But you see, the NNP still believes that they are talking to people who are uneducated. They still believe, because you know, the NNP is synonymous with poverty and illiteracy and vulnerability. The NNP, they love that. They thrive on that. They bask in that. They're happy about it. That their supporters cannot read, cannot write, and cannot reason. And they have no damn problem with that. And their children would grow up in the same circle. And they have no problem with that. They dot poor. They're living in poverty. You could take a bamboo and juke them from outside. You go in their house, all kind of old clothes, nasty, nasty along the place. They squeeze them in poverty. Poverty. Right? And somebody's asking about the new Imani trainees. Well, the new Imani trainees, they are being transitioned. Right? They're being appraised and transitioned. So they too will be under that plan once they are accepted within government as a worker. Right now, they're trainees. Trainees don't fall under any pension plan. That's kind of common sense in any part of the damn world. They have to be regularized first. So they have to be made appraised, assessed, and then regularized. This is common sense. Where you hear trainees falling under some pension plan, you understand the point. You don't have to be smart and bright to understand this thing. So you have those NNP already condemning. Well, they've been condemning the new pension plan from day one against every good thing. And, you know, they're accustomed to that. In fact, right now, I'm tired with those NNP and them. They need to be, they need to ban NNP. Ban them for good. They don't need to be anything running in this country here. Because they don't want the people in this country to move to the next level. They don't. They don't. And Fimba saying, hey, he mentioned also they will be getting NIS pension as well. So it's a win-win. Of course, they get a government pension and an NIS pension. Before they were only going home with an NIS pension. Of course, yes. Fimba, you're absolutely right, Fimba Thomas. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. And in fact, they were going home with $300 and something, $400 and something. Little pittance from NIS. If the month has 4 weeks, they're going home with very, very little. Because they're the lower end workers in the country. If the month has 5 weeks, then they get a little more. I am telling you because I know. Right? So generally speaking, this thing is a win-win, as Fimba is saying. So you're getting two. When you add two of them, it would equate to about your salary. Salary that you're working for now, but you retire and you're getting your same salary, or almost the same thing. And this government cares about the workers. The NNP been there for 23 years and a half. Don't make them fool you, you know. They've been there for 23 years and a half. And what did they do for these workers? What did they do for the contract workers? Huh? What did they do for these people? And mind you, it was a strategy by the NNP, you know, to have a public service in a public service. So when the unions decide to strike, they couldn't strike, or when they strike, it would not be effective. It would not be successful. And that is what we saw, particularly with the Public Workers Union. The teachers, when they call a strike, they mean business. Not the Public Workers Union. They are as weak as a plum branch. They would break easily and all kind of break. That's how they are. You see? In fact, the union donkey would swing on a plum branch because he believes that he's strong. You see, I am saying the Imani trainees, they are trainees. Trainees cannot fall under any pension plan. All right, my good partner Wilson. The Imani trainees, they must be regularized within the public service. They are trainees. All right? So you need to know that. They are trainees. So no trainee could have a pension plan. You have to start working unless the Imani trainee becomes a worker. So you have to understand that. You have to be a worker. So they have to move from the training program to an actual position within the public service. That's the only how they can fall under the new pension plan. That is why the government speaks about regularization. So they will be appraised, assessed, and those who meet the criteria or the standard or they pass the assessment or evaluation or whatever, then they would become a worker within the public service, and they would fall under the new pension plan. But no trainee, no part of the world that's possible. There will be no trainee being a part of a pension plan. That is unheard of. That's weird. So don't take out that. In terms of regularization, then it's a different ball game. We're talking about the new pension plan. All right? So the almost 4,000 people who are on contract for service, you see the Imani trainees, they are trainees. That is important. Once they get an instrument which says that they are a worker now within government, because there are some Imani trainees who move from being an Imani trainee and they are a worker. And some of them been in the thing so long, you can easily categorize some of them as workers. Because there are some Imani trainees who've been there for 6 years and 7 years as an Imani trainee in some workplace, in some department within government. If you don't know, let me tell you. So in cases like these, of course, you don't consider them as Imani trainees anymore. The program was meant for 18 months. Well, they move it to 2 years, I think. So about 18 to 2 years. But you have some of them 6, 7, 8 years in the thing. That is how the NNP saw these young people in the most productive stage of their life, right? The most productive stage of their lives. They bog them down in this program with nowhere to go. Just stick them there for 6 years, 7 years. It's amazing. But you see, some people think that's good and that's okay. It's just like poverty. There are some people, you can't tell them that poverty is a bad thing. No, they believe that poverty is a good thing. Because in some churches, they're preaching to them that poverty is good. In some churches. But the pastor, filthy rich, the pastor and their children going to the best private schools, have the best vehicles, and they would even toot the member of the church when they're passing along the road. They're not going to give them a ride to go where they're going. Different ball game. They believe. Don't play with the brain, the mind. The most dangerous thing. You could play with the mind. When a person believes something, it will take years to cause them to believe otherwise. That is why you had a lot of church leaders taking a lot of the members and bring them in all kind of place. And it's a kind of cult. They make them believe, they indoctrinate them to believe a certain thing or things, and they can't deviate from that. You just believe that is the case. The mind, you're joking. The mind is a powerful, powerful thing. And that is why judges tend to give tough sentences to counselors and psychologists when they breach or violate their clients. Because you see, a counselor or a psychologist, you open up for them, they get into you, right? They get to understand you so deep that they can control you. So when they violate you, because there are counselors and psychologists who are guilty of that, they tend to get harsher sentences because you open up for them, you give them your all. So the mind, it's a very powerful thing, and you need to understand that. This is no joke. So I am simply saying, folks, we have seen the NNP making their members and supporters believe that poverty is a normal thing and poverty is okay. Yeah, I'm telling you. You see some of these people running behind the NNP, and just go and see where they're staying now. Go and take a look at where they're staying. You just go and you would see. Yeah. You don't realize that? The majority of these people, they are dirt poor. The NNP never helped these people to come out of poverty. No, they kept them in poverty. So they have to come and beg them and beg them and beg them. And they had to vote for them. They had to vote for them. Because they thought, well, in their mind, they believe that if they don't vote for them, they're not going to get a little money. They're not going to get a little fortnight. They're not going to get any assistance. That's what they made these people believe. Indoctrinate, inculcate certain things in them. That's what they did, which is dangerous. Very, very much so. But again, I am saying we have to remain focused. We have to remain focused. Because I equated the NNP to be like the GULP when Bishop and the revolution was in charge of Grenada. The GULP. They just couldn't fit in. The time was moving too fast for them. The progress, the development that was taking place during the revolutionary period. And you could say what you want about the revolution. In fact, I don't care what you say. That's your business. But the facts remain. The revolution did a damn lot of good things for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. So the GULP just couldn't keep up. They became irrelevant. And then they ended up in the Center Cemetery in 1997. Same thing with the NNP. With the development and things that are happening now, the NNP cannot keep up. They just can't. You hear the NNP saying Wi-Fi instead of Wi-Fi. You hear Keith Mitchell quarreling like some fouchette for paper in the parliament when all the people around him, those young politicians using computer, laptop computer and tablet computer, and the guy, still fighting and cussing for paper to read some stupidness. They're outdated. It's a dark, old-aged party with a bunch of derelicts, geriatrics. It's clear. It's what it is. We got to face the fact. Look at them. Look at the party. Huh? My good partner, Gregory Boyne, even in the night, he's still wearing Dakas. Look at Gregory Boyne. Gregory Boyne, man, why you don't want to enjoy your money and enjoy your time? And, how old is Gregory's an old boy, Yeah, Gregory Boyne, Keith Mitchell. Look at the face of that party, Roland Bola, you retire how long? Waldron. What the hell went wrong with Waldron? What wrong with you? Why don't enjoy your bread and bake your bread and your cake and so on and stop this thing and stupid? You understand? Troops. Hey, Waldron. Who's them other? A whole pile of them, Huh? A whole pile of old folks that, they don't even know how to go in their smartphone and use it properly to. Can they say Siri? Hello, Siri. Hi, Siri. How are you doing, Siri?
I'm fine.
You're
Thanks.
fine. Right. Siri, can you go to Facebook? Right. Siri gone on Facebook, Siri said, hi, I'm fine. Siri gone on Facebook for me. Look at it. If I tell Siri to cut off the phone, Siri cutting it off too. They can't do that. They can't use the technology. No. I put on my AirPod and a thing and you could. They can't use that. These old folks, they're outdated. You see? Outdated. You have to tell them if they come in by Kem Jones in Mardi Gras, you have to write it down on this house and that house. Man, I just send you a location on your phone, and by you click the location, it takes you right there telling you, take this corner, bend this corner. Huh? You look at the NNP, the people on the executive are a whole bunch of good for nothing, useless, old piece of thing. Look at them. Where's them? Huh? Where's the list? I had the list somewhere, a bunch of old, useless politicians who, they don't move there. They don't pack up. Them all falling them into pack up, man. I had a list somewhere, Them all falling into pack up, man. Pack up! Some list, man, a whole pile of old people, geriatrics. And look, I love elderly people, you know me. Most of my friends are elderly people. But these people need to know what time it is. Because, you see, when you reach a certain age, you have to leave certain things for your children and children to do. You can't play young boy and play young girl. Your days are that done. You hear me? Cuddle up, spend some time with them. Go travel and meet them and enjoy your time with your children and your grandchildren. Your time pass for that. Move to something else. You got to know what time it is. Or you still want to hang on. Just look at the NNP, a dark old party. It become a Gary Park GLP in the center cemetery. It's just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And they're talking about they're able to rope in new people. Who do new people they have on the NNP? Who are the new people? Huh? Watch. Let me go and listen to the parliament debate. The parliament debate, it starts 9 o'clock, a little after 9 we go start. But here it is. This week is the last for the program. All right? Somebody sent me this grand Christmas party. Come and enjoy. The NDC is having at the NDC St. George Northeast. Music by DJ Fluffy. Where location St. Mary's School, Tempe, St. George. A solid bar waits you. Admission $60. Time 10 p.m. until December the 21st. So December the 21st. All right? December the 21st. So go there and support that. Call them up, call the office, and get your tickets. All right? So they have a nice party there. So there's a lot of things that some people tell me to advertise and promote things, but we're wrapping up the program this week. So we get left out there. I know it goes, but it's what it is. All right? This week by Friday, we wrap up the program for 2024. By Friday coming. St. Mark, they have something too. You're invited to our annual Christmas party, Saturday, December 21st, starting at 8 p.m., Diamond Entertainment Center, Diamond St. Mark. All right? Good. You could reserve your seat there no later than the 16th. Call them up. And when you have these kind of flyers, and then you have to put numbers and things so people could call you, so they could locate you and that kind of thing. All right? So it's a lot of things. A couple of people send me things, but right now, I closing down shop for 2024. So I won't go back and check up all them things and them. All right? Yeah, closing down shop for 2024. So we have had a really nice year, 2024. Really, really nice year. We made a lot of progress, a lot of advancement. We improve a lot. So Friday will be the last for 2024. And again, I want to encourage you out there. This program is funded by people just like you. I don't do sponsorships, ads, and so on this program. I depend on you to give to the program, to pay the bills, to meet the commitments. It's Christmas time after all. It's a season for giving. It's a season for reaching out. That's Christmas time. I do not collect a salary from this program for the last 10 years, going on to 11 years. May will make it 11 years. So I'm not like some people who have a salary collecting and they could do a little thing for Christmas. I can't. I don't have a salary getting. So I want to encourage you out there to give. Yes, the program is going to wrap up on Friday, and then Wednesday is Christmas. We're wrapping up and come back on the 6th of January. All right? So I'm saying it's important if you can give to the program, give towards me, give towards just for this period. If you have never given before, as a token of appreciation, do so this time around. Jacqueline called me and she said, me and my sister, we decided to put a little thing together to send you like a change because we really appreciate what you have done for the year. And I felt good. Whatever, even if it's 1 cent, $10, $100, whatever the amount, I appreciate it. Because to do this program is not just coming on a mic and yap, 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 yap. That is why this program is second to none. Still the best. I have to produce it. I have to spend time to produce the program to come on and do it. So it requires a lot of sacrifice. That's why you don't have a lot of people doing this. That is why you don't have a lot of people doing what I do. Some people tried and failed. Some still trying, but what? It's a lot of sacrifice. Plenty sacrifice. So again, I urge you, the WhatsApp number for the program, it's scrolling below, right? The WhatsApp number. You can call me, you can WhatsApp me, you can send something via MoneyGram, you can send something via Western Union. I can give you the Zelle number, a number of ways in which you can give towards the program. There are so many ways you can give towards the program. All you need to do is to contact me and we take it from there. But it's important. I can give you the bank account number in Grenada Cooperative Credit Union, Grenada Cooperative Bank, the Grenada Cooperative Bank. I can give you the bank account number, the name, and So if you feel the urge and you want to give, you can. If you don't want to, it's so be it. At the end of the day, it's what it is. All right? It's not easy, but I urge you to give if you can. Have a wonderful day. Take good care. I'll be back tonight again with you in the hub. And then you have Thursday morning, Thursday night, and Friday morning, and that's it for 2024. All right? It's a good opportunity for people who have never given to the program or who gave maybe once or twice to give now is the end of the year as a token of appreciation. That's so important. Sometimes appreciation is not just saying, I love you and I appreciate you, but understanding that bills need to be met and that things need to be paid for, all right, to keep things going. That's a greater form of appreciation many a times. Folks, take good care. Yeah, so the Zelle number, a friend here saying to me, send the Zelle number. So it's Glenroy Bettel, Glenroy. Right, so his name is Glenroy Bettel. That's his name. And his number is 718 450 4436. All right. So that's the Zelle number. Zelle 2. Zelle 2. Right. So that's the Zelle. You can just Zelle to this number. All right. So you can Zelle to this number. It's Zelle to Glenroy Bettel, 718-450-4436. And I will get it instantly. All right, on that number. So if you're in the United States, you can Zelle any contribution to that number, and I will appreciate it. It's end of the year. The little that you can, do so. If you want to send, you can send via MoneyGram or Western Union, and I will. And MoneyGram has an app. You can do it online from your credit card or your debit card. You can do it online. Western Union, they have an app too. So all you need is to WhatsApp me on my number, 14734154817, and I will send you the name to Western Union, the money on. Well, Western Union, you can send it on my name, Kem Kendon Jones. That's Western Union. Kem, my first name is Kem, my second name is Kendon, and my last name is Jones. Right? And my address is Mardi Gras, St. George, and the number, my cell number, same number. So that's not hard. So you can Western Union you can do, but MoneyGram, you can't send me any money on MoneyGram, but I can give you a name or names to send it on in MoneyGram. All right. So communicating with me is key. That's important. Very, very important. So Western Union, you can send it on my name, but not MoneyGram. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful